Hey homies, this is Brett. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade organic dog food. And I've been doing this for years, and you know, I don't always feed her fresh organic dog food made in a food processor. But whenever I can, I do. If I've got the energy, if I've got some extra food, if I've got some leftovers I want to get rid of. The dogs are like hogs, you know, and they'll eat just about, well, most things. You just got to add some protein to it. You got to make sure they've got some carbs, and add some good fresh vegetables. Make sure there's some raw stuff in there like carrots so that they'll have a nice firm poo. And let me show you exactly what I'm doing today. Okay, there's a bunch of veggies that I have chopped up and are ready to go into the food processor. There's some carrots. There's some red onion, there's some red cabbage, some lettuce, some little tomatoes that they were just hanging out in there and needed to be used, so we're going to do that. And there's some avocado we're going to throw in there. And yeah, it's a little bit more expensive to do that, but you know, what's more expensive? The vet bill and a whole hell of a lot of pain and suffering from a dog that is sick from just eating freaking dry dog food for its whole life, or a healthy dog like chicken head, waggle, 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 you're my girl. She's totally worth it, and I hope yours is too. So let's put all the food, I've already put some Bronco sprouts, sulfur, woohoo, for the liver, and some beans, some black-eyed peas, and that also had a Brussels sprout in there that was just leftovers from some food that I just ate. So now I'm going to set up the camera right here so that you can see me loading this food processor with all of that great food. And first we're going to put in the tomatoes, then we're going to put in carrots, and you have to chop the stuff up small enough so that it'll get going in the food processor. Otherwise it'll just go around and around and around. Some of this I didn't get small enough, but now I have. So there it goes, right in there. That lettuce, I'll have to break that a little bit more. You know, if you eat a wide variety of foods, it's going to benefit a wide variety of parts of your body. Like beets are supposedly great for your kidneys and liver, heart. And beets look like blood. And a lot of people think that the different vegetables that look like different things in your body benefit those things. And I believe that to be true because the simplest and easiest things in life are the best. They'll prove all that someday scientifically. Alright, let's fire that mother up. That got going pretty good for its first time around, but I'm going to push everything down now. I'm sorry, I forgot something. I made some millet. Look at that. Some nice millet. And she really needs some of that, the carbs. And this stuff is almost soft enough to just add to the other stuff. But I'm going to mix it in here anyway and see what happens. It might be a little bit too thick, but we'll see. I might have to add a little water. Let's try it out. If you have to add a little water, don't sweat that. But the dogs generally like it better, just like a human likes it better, if it hasn't been watered down. just let it sit for a minute longer. Now, this would be a vegan dog meal, but I do not feed her all vegan, for those of you that are wondering. She's getting, right now it's summertime, and so I'm giving her a fish-based dog food rather than a chicken-based dog food. And when it's warmer, they need a lighter meat because their body, it needs to flow better. The blood needs to flow better. They don't want the heavy, clogging fats in their body. And I could tell that she was getting bogged down from the chicken, so I switched her over to the fish, and she's doing so much better now. Okay. That looks really good. Now, it's still got a few clumps of that millet in it, but you know what? We're not going to sweat that because they can eat that no problem. Millet and buckwheat cooked are really soft. Now, rice, you got to blend it. Don't feed your dog. Don't feed your dog brown rice that hasn't been blended in a food processor or a blender, because it's got an outer little hole in it that has to be broken down well. You try and eat brown rice without chewing it, and you'll see that it don't work. Dogs don't have molars, and they cannot chew brown rice unless it's been mashed. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a bowl. Okay, and this bowl already has some of that dog food that I just mentioned in it, so great. We'll just add this fresh food to that dog food, and it will be awesome. Now, I don't know if she's hungry actually right now, and if she's not, I'll just take this and I'll put it in the fridge, and she'll eat it later. You can also add like a protein powder to it. You can add, I often add canned meat or canned beans. You can go, hope you can see that. You can go to the regular grocery store and buy canned fish, like sardines or salmon, for like a couple of bucks a can, really cheap. And you could feed them just like a half or a third of a can and then put the rest in the fridge. And you could mix that in with this fresh food. If you mix meat in with this, they'll eat it for sure. They'll, especially like fish, or if you've got some leftover chicken, if you're a meat eater, then they will hog on that like pronto. But see, I also will buy these refried beans and feed that to her. Now remember, the pioneers didn't always eat meat with every meal. They ate a lot of beans. From what I understand, the pioneers would eat meat a couple of times a week, depending on the pioneer. Now the trappers, they would eat meat almost every day. And the explorers like Lewis and Clark would eat meat with every meal. But the pioneers that lived on the plains and in the Rockies, they didn't always just eat meat with every meal, because they had to ration their food. And so when they'd feed their dogs, they also didn't just feed them meat all the time. Now the dogs would go out and hunt mice and rabbits and various things and get to eat meat. But like, this is a golden retriever, okay? And like different species of humans need more meat, or some don't need any meat, this dog is a more advanced critter, and it doesn't need as much or as extreme of a meat. And I can work her on, she loves beans, she loves peanut butter, she can get her protein just like I do from some other sources and not sweat it too much. She still does love meat though, and I feed it to her. So, this meal, I'm going to mix that food up with the fish-based dog food, which is from a company called Canine Caviar. It's probably about the best that you can buy. And of course I live in Asheville, and I am blessed to have that kind of a dog food store here, which is not just like a regular PetSmart. It's got the best stuff. And you know, if you want to move to a more progressive place, I'm sure that you'll pull it off, but you know, it takes a little bit of chutzpah. Get all of that out of there. I do not like to waste. I hate waste. It's something that I just work on my own as good as I can, and try to not sweat the rest of this world, especially this country that I live in that's so brutally freaking wasteful. Because I can't do anything about all that. I can only live my own life. Okay, let's see if she's hungry. Come on. Are you hungry? Let's see if you're hungry. You eat them ones right there. If she can't smell meat in there, she might not immediately go after it, although I think she is hungry. So I'm going to put some of this protein powder in there. See that? That's the Lewis Labs brewer's yeast that's grown on beets. She likes it. Usually. But not always. And if she doesn't eat it, then I'll just throw it in the fridge, like I said. Gotta eat them. Come on. Try that. It's real good, I'm telling you. Try that. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I hope you're doing well, and life is pretty good here in Asheville. I recovered from my aching legs for the most part, and yeah, so she is hungry. Alright, so thanks for joining me. Be well.